Alright then, so now we've hooked the registration and login forms up to a couple of routes to handle post requests from those forms. And in turn, those routes are hooked up to the auth controller where we can write the logic to actually handle those requests. So we've got an action called login to handle requests from the login form, and we've got one called register to handle requests from the register form. Now in this lesson, we're just going to be focused on the register action to register new users. So then inside this action, we get access to the request object as an argument, which is of type request, okay? And on this request object, we're able to access and validate the user input values from the form. And that's the first thing we want to do, right? We want to validate the user input to make sure they're registering with maybe a unique email, a password that's long enough, etc. So the way we can do this is by making a new variable, which I'm going to call validated, call it what you want. And we can set that equal to the request object, and then we'll use a method on that called validate. Now, this method takes an array as an argument, and inside this array, we can use key value pairs to specify validation rules for each input field. So the key would be the input name attribute from the form, and the value would be the validation criteria for that input. For example, we've got an input with a name attribute, value of name, and we could use that as the first key right here. And then as an argument, we'll have a string of different validation criteria. The first one could be that it's required. So we type out required. Then to add another, we use a pipe. And then the next one, which would be that it must be maybe a string value. Okay, then we can add a pipe to specify another after this, which could be that the max number of characters for the name is 255. And then the value we submit for the name field must pass all these validation checks. Okay, so the next input field had the name attribute of email, so we'll use that as the next key. And then as a value, we'll use a string again and also say that this field is required. Then we'll say it must be an email, and Laravel checks this according to its own allowed email patterns for us, so we don't have to worry about making any kind of regular expressions or anything like that ourselves. And finally, we'll say the email must be unique within the users table, so we can say unique, then a colon, and then users to specify the table name to do that. Cool, so now we just need to validate the password. So let's make another key with the name of password. And for the value of that, we'll do another string and we'll say it's required again. Then a pipe. Then we'll say it must be a string. Then another pipe to say that the minimum length is 8 characters long. And then finally, I'll add another pipe and say the password must be confirmed. Now, this last check is really useful and it saves us a lot of time. So in the register form, we had two inputs for the password, right? We had the first one with the name attribute of password and the second one with a name attribute of password underscore confirmation. And when we created this form, I said the name value of the second password input was very important and that it must be called password underscore confirmation. And this is why. Because when we specify in the validate method that the password must be confirmed, Laravel automatically looks for a second password input where the name value is password underscore confirmation. And it compares the password input value to that to make sure they're both the same. But for that to work, the name attribute value must be called password underscore confirmation. So that's nice. Laravel automatically checks the password fields match for us. And I think we've done all the validation checks here. All we have to do now is create the new user. To do that, we'll use the user model and we'll also make sure we're using the correct user namespace. And then we'll use the create method on that user model. And by the way, when we create a new Laravel application, Laravel automatically creates this user model for us, along with a user table, okay? So, as an argument, we just need to pass in the validated variable, which contains all the validated field that a user needs. And when we do this, Laravel saves that new user to the users table. Now, by the way, this validated method right here, it actually returns an array of key value pairs where the key is the name of the field, like name, password, etc. And the value is the input value of that. So that's what we're passing into the create method, and that's what it expects. All right, so Now we've validated the user input. Oh, and one other thing, sorry. We saved the password, which is a string, right? But a nice little feature of more recent versions of Laravel is that it automatically hashes the password for us. So it's not going to be storing those passwords as plain text in the table, which is good. Right, so we've validated the user input and we've created the new user. Now what? Well, even though we've saved that user to the database, that's pretty much all we've done, right? We've not authenticated or logged that user in yet. We've not created a session cookie for them either. So we need to do that next. And Laravel makes this really simple for us because it comes fully baked with its own authentication service that we can use. Now, technically, this auth service is called a facade, which is basically a fancy way of saying it's a programmatic interface for some other complex system. And in Laravel, there's a few different facades for different things, and they're essentially just classes that we can use to do a bunch of stuff easily. So we'll be using the auth facade to log users in really easily, and then Laravel does all of the heavy lifting in the background for us. It generates a session token and a cookie for the user, and it keeps track of whether a user is currently authenticated or not. To use it, we can start typing auth, and then you'll see this namespace with the word facade in it. So make sure you select that one to use it. And then on this auth class, we can then use a method called login, and we can invoke that and pass a user model instance into it. Now, we don't actually have a user instance anywhere here, but this create method returns one for us based on the user it's creating. So we can just store the return of that in a variable called user. And then we can take that and we can pass it into the login method. And that's it, my friends. That's all we need to do. Laravel then takes care of everything else for us. Now, there is just one more thing I want to do in this action, and that is to redirect the user back to the index page. So we can say down here, return, then use the redirect function and invoke it. And we'll tack on the route method to specify the name of the route we want to redirect to. And in our case, that is the ninjas.index route. Okay, so we'll try this out in a moment, but I want to handle one more thing before we do, and that is any validation errors, if there are any. So when we use the validate method up here, if some of the validation fails, then Laravel redirects us back to the page that we were on, the register page in this case, and it sends those errors back too, so that we can use them within that page view to display them to the user. So I'm going to head to that register page view, and I'm going to scroll right to the bottom of the form, and I'm going to paste in a little snippet of code. Now, if you've taken my Laravel beginners course, this should look very familiar because we did something very similar. What we're doing is a little if check to see if we have any errors. And if we do, then we output a UL tag with a few Tailwind classes. So when I said that the validation method sends back some errors into the view, if there's any errors present, then this is going to be true right here. We'll have errors. Okay, so inside here, we loop through all those validation errors that we have, and we output each one as its own li tag. So now, if, say, the passwords don't match, for example, or the email isn't unique, then we're going to list those errors provided by Laravel right here at the bottom of the form. All right, so I'm on the register page, and we're going to try registering a new account. So I'm going to sign up with Yoshi. The email is yoshi@netninja.dev. For the password, I'm going to say pw123, and then down here, pw. Now, I wanted to do this to show you that we are going to get validation errors, and we'll see those at the bottom. So the first one is that the password isn't 8 characters long, and secondly, they don't match. Let's try then pw123456, which is 8 characters, pw123456, and then register. Hopefully we will get redirected to the home page now, and this will work. Awesome. Okay, and then just back over here, I wanted to open up the database, so let's go and have a look at that, just so we can see that new user, and in fact I created 2 users, one off screen as well. So we can see now we have this one, Mario, and also Yoshi. Awesome. And we can see that these passwords are hashed. Cool.